What's up, everybody? So we're out in the shop with another Shop Talk Tuesday, and in this episode we are starting a new build series. Now before we jump into that, I'm going to give a shout out to somebody who sent me some stuff and show y'all what he sent me. Now some of y'all have been kind of sussing it out, kind of checking it out in the background. It was the blocks that were right here. Now his name's Oleg. I'm going to leave his links and all that stuff in the description below if you want to go check him out and pick up some stabilized wood blocks. But I'm going to show you what he sent me, and going from what I really like to insanely like. So we're going to start off with these right here. These two, I really like them. I think those are going to be absolute awesome handles. I mean, look at the grain in this, and then the dye and everything, just awesome. Super stout too. I mean, these are fully impregnated. I mean, you could tell how stabilized they are. These are awesome. Now we go from that one to this one, which I really like. And how awesome is that? Beautiful set right there. Then we go to this one, which is just absolutely gorgeous. And then second to last, this one right here, which I think is just beautiful. It's almost metallic where the lightness pops up. Those are going to be insane whenever they're shaped. To my favorite, and I've worked with a material kind of like this from Corey Scott a little while back whenever I was making the ADCR V2 chopper that I did. Boom. I love these. I mean, it looks like flames coming up. That is just unreal that you can do that with wood. Just absolutely beautiful. Super solid. Like I said, I mean, there are no voids in this. And I absolutely love that. Now, I'm probably going to make all hidden tang knives utilizing these stabilized blocks, because I've still got some blocks from the past that I'm going to end up using for handle scales and stuff like that, but I'm probably going to use all of these in hidden tang knives. I've got a whole bunch planned for whenever we get the new shop set up, but cannot wait to work with these. Oleg, thank you for sending these. If y'all want to, check out his stuff, peruse his goods, link in the description below. Go check it out. Now, without further ado, what are we going to start? Well, some of y'all have already seen it if you watched previous videos, but Farriers Rasp knife. We're going to do this kind of drop point recurve style knife right here. I think this is going to look really awesome whenever we actually start doing the bevels and everything, because on this side you're going to get all the triangles and you're going to get the lines and everything on this side, and because the blade's going to be so long, you're going to see a ton of that throughout the actual blade, and it's going to maximize the amount of uniqueness that comes with doing a Farriers Rasp knife. So this is what we're going to end up doing. Now, I am a big fan of my drop point recurve, like chopper style knives, and I think that this is going to be just the right size and everything to have just a good forward weight but not be overly ridiculous, because a lot of the times whenever I make these, it's with about a 1/4 inch thick material. This isn't going to be that. By the time it's all said and done, this will be closer to about 3/16 of an inch thick, which again is not super thin or anything like that. It's still pretty thick, but it won't be super heavy, but you'll have a ton of character if just all the different designs with the Farriers Rasp, stuff. But what we're going to start with today is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut it out with the angle grinder, and then we're going to anneal it, take the hardness out of it. I know some of y'all are thinking, but it's already hardened. Why are you going to do that? You're wasting time. Because I want to show y'all the heat treat process in the knives. I don't want to skip that process because that's a whole entire thing that y'all could learn that I would just be skipping. So we are going to anneal it, which also helps with drilling in the pinholes into the tang. But we're going to anneal it, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to grind off all the peaks to the triangle side here of the rasp, and we're going to grind off some of the top here and make it to where it's all this thickness that's right here. And that will leave all the triangles, it'll leave all the design. We're not taking that out of it, we're just getting rid of some of the peaks on there. So we're going to grind that flat, and then we're going to finish our profile, both grinding it flat and finishing the profile on the 2x72, and that way we can see what it looks like, what it feels like once we get done with that. But that's the goal for today. Let's get outside, let's get this hooked up to the little bench, and then get it cut out. So let's get it. So at this point we're at our roughest shape, and this is just everything that's left from using the angle grinder on it. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to finish profiling it. Now I'm not going to get too crazy with it right now because, like I said, once I get done annealing it, I'm then going to go through and make everything real nice. But I figure I'd go ahead and clean up a lot of this stuff and get the profile roughly where it needs to be. Then we'll anneal it, then we'll go through and we'll flatten everything, and then we'll finalize and smooth everything out exactly where it needs to be. For right now, I want to go ahead and get rid of as much of this random stuff as possible. And we're going to be using a 36 grit shredder belt. So let's go ahead and get after this. So one of the things I don't typically show is putting the fuller in the tang to lighten up the tang itself without having to drill all the holes. I like it a little bit better, and I feel like there's a little more structural integrity by not drilling a ton of holes through here. So all I do is bring it across the lower wheel here and grind it in. So I'll show you that now. So basically, just like this, I'll just go in between, and I make sure that I don't get too close up here. I want to leave a little bit of flat space on both sides all the way around. Now I'm going to go ahead and grind this in just a little bit deeper, but you can see what I'm going for right there. Just taking out a ton of weight in between the two pinholes, and I'll do this on both sides. Well guys, let's go ahead and wrap this Shop Talk Tuesday up here. A little bit of this. So what do y'all think about that profile so far? Looking pretty cool? You know, what I wanted to focus on in this particular build series is not having to do a bunch of different things to be able to make a knife. We primarily cut it out with the angle grinder. We did use my 2x72, but you could do that easily with a 1x30. And then we use the drill press to drill the holes for the pins. I didn't show that process because y'all have seen me do that a bunch of times. The part that I wanted to focus on was more the fullers that go inside the tang there to be able to lighten it up without you having to drill a bunch of holes in your tang and sacrifice drill bits. Now, the things that we still need to do to this is, of course, all of the heat treating handle, all that stuff. And the next week's episode, we're going to focus on the bevels. And I might do the heat treat process in that one. I don't know just yet. I might split that into 2 different videos because I know y'all like me to break that stuff down so that y'all can really digest it and listen to what I'm saying when it comes to the different steps. So I know a lot of this was more time lapse and not as much talking, but it's primarily because I would have just been saying, and now I'm cutting it out with an angle grinder, and now I'm grinding it on the 2x72. Now I'm grinding it again on the 2x72. And hey, we're still grinding on the 2x72. There wouldn't have been a much of me explaining what I'm doing without you literally seeing what I was doing. So I didn't do all of that. But on the next one, we'll have more talking and stuff like that, explaining the process of doing bevels on something that has a texture like this and making sure that you retain as much of that as possible, but also make sure you don't have any of that on the edge. So we'll talk about that in next week's video. Guys, that's the end of this one. If y'all would, give this video a thumbs up, share this video or one of my other videos. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there. I'll catch y'all next time.